All right. We do have the new assistant coach of the Edmonton Oilers, Paul McFarland, on the show this morning. Paul, good morning. How you doing, man?
Great. How are you guys doing this morning?
Hey, I'm doing just fine. I do want to start with your time in Calgary briefly. I worked with Brad Curl for a long time in Lethbridge back in the day. How's Brad Curl doing down in Calgary still, voice of the Calgary Hitmen?
Yeah, it was excellent. Loved my time in Calgary, obviously, with the Hitmen. I think I have a lot of appreciation for the bus rides in the Western League after the last year, I can tell you that. I got to see lots of different new places that I've never been to, and it's definitely enjoyed my time in Western Canada.
Man, there's some long hauls in the West, isn't there?
You there?
Yeah, are you there? I was just saying there's some long bus rides in the West, isn't there?
There really is, but it's kind of what brings a group together. I think at the end of the day, it's those kind of trips that allows your team to bond and be around each other. And at the end of the day, it's only going to make you a better player having to go through it. So it's a lot of fun, I think, going through those different experiences. And I don't mind the bus, that's for sure.
Congratulations on the job here in Edmonton. Did you go after this, or was it a thing where Knobloch reached out to you and said, "Hey, I'd like to bring you on board"?
Well, I think it's in a lot of these situations, it's mutual, right? I mean, for me, this situation, the people that are in place within the organization, obviously having a chance to work with Chris, I have a ton of respect for him. And then you look at the players that they have; it's a pretty special situation, very unique, even in the NHL, which is obviously the best league in the world. So. It was, I think, mutual, but for me personally, just really excited to have a chance to be a part of it and do everything I can to help our players get better and take a step.
All right, let's try it one more time. Paul, we got you back. You good? You're good now?
Yeah, I'm all set. That's actually clearer than it was the first time.
Oh, well, there we go. That's good news, man. No, it's probably on our end. You don't need to apologize. I was asking, whether it's a guy that coached you along the way or guys that you've worked with in some of your stops along the way, who have been your biggest influences in your coaching career?
Well, I think it always starts for me. DJ Smith was the first person that gave me a coaching job. I was actually his captain my last year at junior. I think he was really the first coach for me that really took the time to go the extra mile. And we've obviously stayed close and have a great relationship since. But he's one of the people. I think I had a chance to play for Pete DeBoer Jr., who was very structured, very detailed. Was an excellent role model for me as well. So there's been different people along the way. I think I've been really fortunate to work with a lot of great coaches. I think every step of the way. Even recently, working with the Seattle, Dave Haxtell. I think there's been a lot of people that really had an influence. You take little bits and pieces from everybody. But ultimately, I think in this job or role, you always have to be yourself, and everyone's going to be unique and have their own way to do things. And but it's all great experiences to go through those things. You're
just 39 years old. You've already been on some NHL benches. At what point did you think, okay, I want to be a coach? I'm going to be a coach. Is that something that happens in junior, or is it once you get to university? How's that happen?
You know what? I decided to go to Acadia University when I was done playing junior hockey, and that's one of the best decisions I've ever made. I think from obviously not just a hockey standpoint, but schooling, everything that I did there. But also I think it really kind of increased my passion for coaching or teaching for that matter, and the ability and the impact you can have as a coach. So I think that's really where it started to start for me. And like I said, DJ Smith and Jeff Toohey gave me my first job as an assistant coach in Oshawa. And ever since then, kind of been running with it. But it's if you're not going to play the game and you're not going to be able to play as long as you want to play as a player, I think the next best thing is coaching. And you still have the competitiveness and the nature of being obviously involved with the team. And it's just great to have the impact and be around the players. And ultimately, for me, it's the next best thing.
There's always a lot of conversation about coaching the modern day player. And now you coached junior before getting into the National Hockey League a bit. Then you coached junior again. But you're a newer generation coach. So I don't know if you have much, experience with the older guys, but how is it a challenge nowadays to connect with players, or is it easier to connect with this generation?
Well, I love it personally. I think every new team is always a great challenge or opportunity, but that's the best part about this job, right? And that's the best part of being involved in this game for me is getting to know people and ultimately, trying to build different relationships and connections with each and every person. Everyone's different, right? I mean, there's not one. It's not like you can, try to do that one way with everybody. I think you have to relate to different people different ways, and you have to find ultimately what they need to be successful and how you can ultimately help them. Hopefully build their confidence and feel good about themselves. I think so much of this game for me is surrounded by confidence. And so our job as coaches is always to try to put players in positions of strength and continue to build on their confidence and then continue to evolve, right? I mean, there's no secret. There's so much technology in today's game that, people have to continue to evolve and get better and take steps. But as you said, it starts with the relationship side, which for me, that's what's so exciting about coming into this team. I'm really excited to get to know the guys and obviously the staff for that matter and get to work. You have an element of your job is something that 1 million people in this city have an opinion on, and that's a power play. That's been really good for a long time. Just how exciting is it to kind of get the reins of a power play that's been this special for the last half decade? Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, there's no question. There's, I think everyone talks about it. That, there's some special players that you get a chance to work with. They've had a ton of success. So, obviously we've all studied this power play for years as to what they do, but it's hard to replicate. So I think for me coming in, like I said, it starts with getting to know the players and working with them and having lots of conversations. But I think ultimately I want to continue to build on the things they've been great at or that are already seen as strengths. And then we have to continue to evolve and can't be afraid to try some different things and, find ways to hopefully continue to improve it. But it's an exciting group. I think that's what makes this, like I said, this situation so special to come into, and that's why I think I'm really excited about what's ahead. Man, I love what you said. How everybody has studied this Oilers power play and tried to find ways to duplicate it, but unless you got 97, it's kind of tough to do, isn't it? Well, that's the one thing I took away. When I was in Florida, my first NHL stint, and we had a pretty successful power play while I was there. And I went to Toronto after that, who, just in their own right, has some obviously very special players. But you can't really duplicate it in different spots because obviously at the end of the day, players are good at different things. Even the best players in the world, for that matter. Obviously, some of the top players, here in Edmonton, do things other players can't do elsewhere. So I think that's what makes each and every job unique, and each and every season unique, right? I mean, the power plays and the teams obviously had a ton of success here of late. But as we know, come training camp, it starts all over again, right? Everyone's got to try to build from scratch again. There's 32 teams that are all looking for the same thing. So from my perspective, I'm excited just to start it all over again and be a part of that process. But I don't want to go too super power play nerd here, but I was reading some stuff when you got brought on board in Toronto about, and I think from a media perspective and a fan base perspective, in our minds, it's always about, well, what do the Oilers do here? What do the Oilers do here? But I think it's an interesting process of other teams with different penalty kills, and not so much your setup, but how you attack the other penalty kill. How much of it is about the penalty kill you're about to face and finding their weaknesses, as opposed to just McDavid breaks into the zone and tries to find Draisaitl? Yeah, I mean, the best power plays, I think, in the NHL, for me, are always kind of a step ahead, right? Like, penalty kills are going to have their structure, their details that they want to have. But in my experience, when you're working with a top power play or the power play has a lot of confidence, ultimately, a lot of times the penalty kills are trying to adjust for you, for that team, to see that team. And that's when you have them at the point you want to have them, where you're always going to have a chance to be a step ahead. And so it starts again with trying to build things that you're great at. So they, obviously, see what we're hopefully really good at. And ultimately, then we got to try to evolve and stay ahead of what we're going to see. So it's twofold, but I think you always want to have that attack mindset. For me, I mean, the best players in the world are the best power plays in the world. I think every time you get a power play, you should be excited and hopping over that bench thinking you're going to score. And I would expect no different, obviously, next season. So how do you keep busy the rest of the off season? How do you pass the time? There's lots going on. I mean, obviously, lots of video that I can watch to just continue to get more familiar with the players. I think, but also, there's like every coaching journey, there's a transition of getting, family to Edmonton as well. So, fortunately, in this situation, it's a shorter move, but there's lots going on, lots of work to be done, obviously, to get ready for training camp. And I was saying this yesterday. Even talking to a few of the staff, I think, obviously the Edmonton's been on a long run, and everyone's in need probably for a little bit of a breather and some rest and recovery before the year gets going again. I feel like I could start tomorrow. So we're all in a few different places, but I'm excited to get started in training camp and look forward to getting to Edmonton.
One of our guys here is counting down. It's 68 days until the first preseason game. So you got a little bit of time, but get to work, I guess. Paul, really appreciate the time, man. Thanks a lot, and congratulations again.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Thanks again.
There you go. That is Paul McFarland, new assistant coach, and will have the reins of the power play for the Edmonton Oilers. That was a good conversation.